Hello, it's only been a couple minutes, but I'm doing a different one for failing to succeed. And this would be a practice video for resolutions. This will be a talk that I'm going to be putting together to put up on the website like a proper video. I've already done a discussion using some of my other apps. I've kind of pointed out where I want to go, but I need practice on just how I think I will be recording this video for that. So when I'm gonna try that out right now. So in order so I can understand where I'm screwing up, what I'm thinking about, and how to make it better. And rather than just doing it through the audio way that I normally do it, I'm also doing it with the video so I can see how stupid I look and what I need to think about. So if someone is watching this, which I doubt, this will be eventually put into a better form, better recorded, better everything, but this is my first fail try at this. All right. So, resolutions. It's the beginning of the year. Everybody is trying to use some resolutions. And since this is all about failing to success, I thought I would talk about how you build your resolutions to allow for failing towards success or failing to succeed. In order to fail to succeed, how to build your resolutions. So I need to clean that up. For me, there are several things that you have to think about in order to make this work effectively. I've been doing resolution lists for a large part of my life. It's been more than 15 years for sure. And I've been writing them down clearly for more than a decade. So, because I'm also a game designer, I'm going to talk about this in terms of how to design for success for your resolutions. All right, so tip number one. All right, so usually when I hear people talk to other people about their resolutions, they come up and they have one thing that they want to do that year. They want to exercise more often, or they want to eat healthier, or they want to be able to travel more. Something very big, very generous, and not very tangible, right? So this would be like saying, I want to play a game and I want to be able to fight. Okay, that sort of makes sense, but it's too vague, right? So what do I do, right? So for every time I do my resolutions, I don't do one, I do 10, right? I think having a list of things that you can have in there makes it much easier, because one of the problems with doing the resolution is if you just have one, then you only have that one thing to do. And if you only have that one thing to do, you will eventually get bored of it. You'll end up taking a break, and then success won't happen, right? You'll just fail out of it, and then that's it, right? So it's basically an all or none situation. Whereas if you have a list of 10, if you get bored with something, then you can switch to another, right? It's the same thing in video games, right? You can have your main storyline, your main quests that you're doing, but then there's side quests, right? And you do the side quests, and you're like, you know what? I don't really feel like going and doing the main stuff right now. I want to go and do some other stuff, explore the world, etc. Find some little things. That's what we're trying to get ourselves into, right? So that you don't feel the pressure of having to do one thing every single day and be all focused, all consuming about getting your mental into that. Having a list of 10 allows you to have a whole list of things, right? So 10 is our big thing, right? Then we can break that into little tiny sections for it, right? First of all, when I do 10, if you look at my list, it actually looks more like it's like 40 or 50 of these things, right? And that's because for each goal or each objective that I have for the year, like I want to get in better physical shape, right? It's very general, it's very broad, but what does that actually mean? So then I put in goals for what each one is, right? So I want to be able to do 100 push-ups, right? Now I have a clear, smart goal that I can clearly know how much I have to do, what that looks like, how I know what success looks like. Perfect. Another thing I'm going to do with these 10 pieces here is I'm going to kind of break them into 3 categories, right? I always have 3 categories of stuff that are going to be fairly easy to implement, right? Because they're already part of my life. Like pretty much every year, I do something around cooking or eating habits or something like that, right? So every year I'm like, I want to become a better chef, right? I'm going to have to cook throughout the year, right? So therefore, I'm already going to be doing this stuff. Now I just have to put some elements in there to focus myself on how do I make sure I'm improving. So I often have things like do 5 new dishes or try 5 new ingredients throughout the year, right? Then I can just focus every couple months and be like, you know what, what's a new ingredient? What am I seeing new at the farmer's market or something like that? And now I have that. Uh, another thing that I think is important, so that's just building your list. So when you have your list, you can then be able to see this and follow it throughout the year, and you can pick and choose what you need to be working on for this stuff. All right, so that's just the amount of stuff we're doing, right? Now let's get more into specifics of other things. You know, I really don't like how I did this one. All right, I have some more work to be doing on how to highlight and categorize my stuff because it really seems all over the place. Cut back into this. So a couple other things that you want to do when it comes to resolutions. First, try and write them, get them done for the beginning of the year, but give yourself at least 2 weeks to start them, right? One of the things I notice is an area for failure for a lot of people is January 1st comes, they're like, damn it, I'm on top of this, I'm going to start doing this right now, and they're really rushing out the gate to complete this, but then everybody else is doing this too, right? And it's often not fun, right? Like, I'm going to go work out in the gym, and everybody else is going to be in the gym, so the gym is going to be packed for the next couple weeks. I'm not going to feel good there, right? So I take a couple weeks break. I'm like, by the end of January, I have to really start focusing on this. Another part of that is that it's easy to have goals, but you also have life, and you have to find a way to get your life and goals to come into alignment. But so if you are going to have something like, I'm going to get in better shape, or I'm going to go to the gym 3 times a week, great, perfect. That's a very clear goal. We know how we can put that in, right? But where are you going to slot that in, right? You could say something like, you know what, I'm just going to get up an hour early and I'll go to the gym, right? Great, you do that. If you're going to wake up an hour earlier than you're used to, you're going to be more tired during the day. Do you need to go to sleep earlier? Probably, right? Like for me, I personally stay up until 11:30, midnight a lot of days, but I do get up at 6 a.m. in the morning or 7 a.m. in the morning normally to get ready for work, right? Now I want to wake up at 6. So now that hour I'm taking out of my life is probably going to impact my evening, right? So maybe I have to go to bed earlier. Okay, if I have to go to bed earlier, what am I missing from that, right? The reason I don't usually go to bed earlier is because I want to watch a TV show, right? And it's a TV show I can't watch while my kid is around. So you can see now I'm pushing stuff around for this. Or if you're going to have something like, I want to eat new foods for that, you're going to have to, search the grocery store. Things are going to take longer. You're going to have to do research. Little bits of stuff is going to impact your day for that stuff, right? And you have to figure out how that will all work together. Once you think about, that's why I give myself that month, is that it allows me to integrate that stuff in there, right? A better example would have been to talk about, I want to learn Korean, so I want to take a Korean class every week. I am limited by the times that I'm able to have those classes. So I can't just put it anywhere. I have to put it in certain specific time ranges. Such as if I want to meet and talk with people, there's a meetup group that I can go to and I can talk to people. Perfect, that's great. That's on Wednesday and Friday nights, right? Friday nights, tough to get the wife to say, yeah, you can take every Friday night off. Okay, well, that's going to be tough, right? So now I'm having to look, well, what can I trade off here and there to get back that time or add in that time or change it? All right, that's a good one. What else did I have on my list here? Another part of the feeling to success is to be adaptable. So when you're writing up your list, you have to make sure that you're not putting yourself... I talk about being specifically vague all the time when it comes to design, which means that it should be clear enough that you understand what it's supposed to be, but not so specific that it's impossible to complete, right? So you need to make sure that when you're putting something in there, say you want to do something every single week, right? Every week I want to post a drawing to Instagram. That's great, but sometimes that's not possible, right? So do you fail your goal outright just because you got sick and had to go in the hospital for a week and you couldn't draw, or you broke your arm, or you couldn't do that? No, you can say, like, you're looking at kind of laws of averages, right? So if I'm saying I want to do something every week, what I'm saying is at the end of the year I'm going to have about 50 of these done, hopefully more for that, right? So obviously if you push it all the way to the end and you're trying to put out a drawing every day in the last 2 months just to hit that number, it's not going to work for yourself. You need to have that proper build-in, but you can do one a week. If you miss a week here and there, that's okay. You can catch up on those elsewhere, right? You can find ways to do it, right? Maybe at the end of the year, especially since you're adaptable, what does every week mean? Does every week mean 52 for that, or does it mean 50 or 48? Like, how close do you want to make it? Like, it's okay to allow a little bit of looseness in this, right? If you're too strict, you're gonna, as soon as you miss that first week, then you're done and you break that goal altogether. Yeah, I think that's what it, how long was that, 11 minutes? All right, so obviously I have a lot of things I need to think about. I will be watching this video myself so I can see what I like and what I don't like, and then I will probably do another video of this a little bit later, and I'll put some highlights of what I liked and what I didn't like, and hopefully I will start to get this a little bit more organized. That's it. All right, thank you. This has been Feeling to Succeed, practice for my video on resolutions, and that is it for this recording. Talk to you later.